to This by William Opperman. Interior lobby of Symphony Hall, Boston, night. It's intermission at a Boston Symphony Orchestra concert in February, and the crowd in the lobby is swelling. Paul, 28, collects his change, puts his $2 bills in the big snifter, struggles with his 2 brandies, and turns to find his husband, Barry, 32, standing at a high-top table nearby. They are attractive, young, urban gays. Jack, 25, standing in line with another young man, smiles at Paul. Jack is very handsome and has a marked dimple in his chin. Think Cary Grant.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Jack! Oh, my goodness, it's been ages. I'm fine. How are you?
Good, good. Nice concert so far.
Very. I can't wait for the Stravinsky. Hey, gotta run. I'll see you soon, okay?
Sure. By the way, is that?
Yeah.
Nice. I'll see you later.
Paul rejoins Barry, who's been watching.
My, who was that?
They clink their glasses and have the first sip.
Oh, that's Jack. Mr. Dimple.
Barry chokes slightly.
Mr. What?
Have I never told you about him?
I don't think so.
Oh, you'll like this story, I think. It's about one gay man helping another.
I approve in principle, at least.
You have no need to worry.
You know I'm not worried.
Because you see, I met Jack about 4 years ago, months before our weekend at Ogunquit.
Paul clinks Barry's glass with his. Then they clink their wedding rings together with warm smiles and significant eye contact. Their understanding is excellent. Interior, MBTA Green Line car, day. Heat, smell, noise, bustle and jostle, the general unpleasantness of the Green Line at rush hour in summer.
It was one of those miserable summer days when you swear you'll never take the Green Line again.
The car, about to leave Arlington en route to Copley, is very crowded.
Park Street was horrible, and the train kept getting fuller at every station. You know how it gets.
Jack is standing at Paul's right at the very back of the car, and they're pressed together like sardines. Both are looking out the window, holding the horizontal bar with their right hands, briefcases in their left. A tired-looking middle-aged woman pushes her way through right behind Paul and looks for something to hold on to. A gentleman, 50, in the seat in front of Paul notices.
Ma'am, would you like a seat?
Thank you so much.
As the gentleman rises, Paul is obliged to turn 90 degrees to let him up. But the middle-aged woman is behind Paul, so as she sits, Paul is turned like a turnstile 180 degrees in the other direction. Instantly, the maneuvering space is filled in, so Paul is facing Jack's left ear directly. The back of Jack's hand is basically in Paul's crotch. There's nothing much either of them can do.
Excuse me.
Jack gruffly acknowledges the situation, shakes his head, no eye contact. The car lurches. Paul practically falls into Jack's face. An instant of eye contact.
Hey, watch it.
Sorry.
Paul is being tossed around a bit. His briefcase is in the woman's face, so while the car is moving, he tries to shift it to the other side under his arm.
So there I am, trying not to clobber this lady in the face with my briefcase.
Nothing's working well. He sets the briefcase on the floor, nearly falls into the person behind him, and his face brushes Jack's shoulder.
And I'm all but falling down with this stranger's hand in my crotch.
When Paul rises again, Jack pushes the back of his hand, still holding the briefcase, against Jack's crotch and holds it there for a count of 2 or 3.
And, well, I may have gotten a little excited, but I swear he was the first one to, shall we say, press the matter.
Paul reacts with surprise.
And then, well, what's a poor boy to do, right?
Paul cocks his head a little, raises an eyebrow, looks at Jack, who turns slightly and makes a brief, uncomfortable eye contact, then gives Paul a quick nod. Interior Copley Station, day. The train stops. Paul shoves his way off the car and onto the platform.
I wasn't sure that I was reading them right, but I was ready to get off the train anyway, and when I turned around, well, what do you know?
Jack gets off the train too. There's a brief silence as they look at each other, both a little breathless.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Bill.
You want to grab a drink somewhere?
No way.
Okay. Well, I live on Marlborough, between Mass Ave and Hereford. We could get back on a train for one stop or walk.
Yeah. Walk.
They head for the exit. Exterior, outside Copley Station, outbound, day. We see Paul and Jack getting off the escalator and exiting the station. They reconnect on the sidewalk.
How about Calm Ave? We could walk through the parks.
Whatever.
Exterior streets of Boston, mostly Commonwealth Avenue, day. They reach Commonwealth Avenue, cross to the park in the middle of the street, and turn left.
This is nice, isn't it?
Hmm.
Sometimes I wonder why I even bother with the Green Line. Although I'm glad I did today.
Jack averts his eyes. Paul wonders. More silence. A dog owner, 40, and her golden retriever pass, going in town. Paul smiles at the dog owner.
What a beautiful dog.
Why, thank you. Her name is Happy.
Of course it is. Hello, Happy. What a good girl.
Happy, behave yourself. I'm afraid she's already pegged you as a pushover.
Oh, no, no. I'm the impertinent one. She is just lovely. Yes, you are, Happy. Good girl. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for the golden fix.
Anytime.
Paul watches them as they leave, turns back to discover Jack staring at him.
Sorry. Goldens are my favorite breed. I just love them.
Jack is amused. They continue their walk. Paul decides it's time for the ice to break.
So, tell me, Bill. I get the impression that you may be new to this?
My name isn't Bill, it's Jack.
Oh. You did say Bill, didn't you?
Yeah. I wasn't sure.
I get it. Just in case I turned out to be a real asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. So, Jack, are you new to this?
Yeah, I've never done this before.
You don't think of yourself as gay?
No, not at all. Not really.
Well, it is, as they say, a bit of a step. Not one you want to take lightly.
Do you mind if I ask you some questions?
Oh, God, the times I've wished I had someone to ask. Fire away.
Do you sleep with women too?
Not anymore.
But you did before.
Yeah, a couple. I was pretty slow getting started because I was afraid I was gay and I didn't want to be. You know, pedophiles, predators, horrible people. It may sound strange in this day and age, but my family was really churchy. How about you?
I sleep with women. I'm no Leonardo DiCaprio, but do alright.
I'm not surprised.
Paul stops to pick a fragrant sprig from a bush.
What do you mean?
The way you look, you shouldn't have any trouble finding willing partners, women or men.
A few steps.
Relationships?
What?
You know. Are you married? Have you just broken up with your high school sweetheart?
No, nothing like that. Wouldn't be here.
Okay, just a simple question. So, no long-term relationships. Why not?
Haven't found the right girl. Why waste my time or hers if there's no future?
No future? Do you mean that you want a relationship with a man?
No. No. Not. Maybe, yeah. I don't know. What's it to you?
You're right, of course. I didn't mean to. I only wonder because I intentionally ended it with the two women in my past to save them and me.
Intentionally?
Well, subconsciously, I suppose. That's just the opposite, isn't it? But you see, I was the one who broke it off, both times, and I really think I was rescuing myself from a life I would not be happy in. And them.
Did you love them?
Yes, but not in the way that they deserved.
But you weren't out, right?
Right.
So how did you know to do it? How did you know that you had to break it off with them if you weren't gay?
Oh, Jack, I wasn't out, but I always knew. That's my point.
City sounds, perhaps sirens, fill a brief silence.
I didn't admit it until much later, but when I was, 12? And all my friends were discovering girls, I realized one day that the bodies I really wanted to see were men's. All the legs I looked at had hair on them.
That strikes a chord with Jack.
Even at college, my roommates' porn sites didn't interest me unless the men were included. But being gay wasn't an option to me at the time, so I did what I had to do, which eventually included leaving the provinces. I'm from St. Louis.
Tulsa.
Oh my God, Tulsa? Ugh. Well, then you know there are fewer options in St. Louis or Tulsa, I expect.
Yes.
A quiet moment.
Tulsa. Wow. Do you go back often?
No. My parents moved to South Carolina and you can't go home again.
I wonder sometimes if what Wolf meant by that was that home is a place you have to leave.
I've always thought it was less romantic, more cynical. We don't really know where home is until we discover that we can't go back there.
Home is where you can't go back to. Huh. Maybe that's it. Anyway, when I left the Midwest, I stopped dating women and started sleeping with men.
Relationships?
Ah, no. I am very single. Sad, huh? Actually, it's worse than you think. 2 years ago, I was devastated to discover that I'm hopelessly in love with my best friend. Such a cliche, but it does mean that I'm free as a bird. And you and all the other great-looking men in Boston are safe.
They walked together silently for a while. They turned right on Hereford, then left onto Marlborough.
I really didn't know what to expect. It had crossed my mind early on that he might be a queer basher, but his questions seemed sincere.
Marlborough Street.
So, by the time we reached my place, I figured, why not?
Paul slows his pace. Jack does likewise. Jack's getting nervous.
This is where I live. Would you like to come up?
Sure.
Interior, Paul's apartment. Entry area, day. Paul's apartment is shabby nice. A small kitchen, a small bedroom, a nice living room, and a small entry area with a tiny table for keys, mail, and a little vase, currently without flowers. Paul and Jack enter. Paul locks the door behind them, puts the sprig in the vase, and drops the keys on the table. They set down their briefcases. Paul takes off his sport jacket, hangs it up in the closet, gets another hanger. Jack removes his jacket and lets Paul hang it up.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Would you like something to drink?
Water? Water would be good.
Jack, nervous, stays in the entry area while Paul gets the ice and prepares the water.
Tap all right, I hope?
Sure.
Paul reappears, hands the glass to Jack, waits for him to take a drink, smiles, takes Jack's head in his hands and kisses him. Jack doesn't move. Paul takes the glass and places it on the little table, then kisses Jack again, more romantically. Jack pulls back.
No. Damn it, no. Ah, shit. This is a mistake, I'm not...
All right, Jack. It's all right.
I'm sorry, maybe I should... I don't think...
Jack, breathing a little heavily, looks imploringly at Paul.
He was genuinely upset, but he didn't leave. He didn't get his jacket. He didn't even pick up his briefcase, so I thought, I'm sorry, Jack, I am. I don't want to make you do anything you don't want to do, but it seems to me that you may want an experience with a man.
Jack looks down at the floor, breathes, tries to relax.
You may only want to get it over with, to get it out of your system. That's fine too. Here's the thing.
Paul touches Jack gently on the arm.
Jack,
Jack looks up at him.
I would be glad to give you one such experience. Right here, right now, with no strings, no conditions of any kind. I think that you're very attractive, and I'd love to see you naked, if you think you can be comfortable with that. But, you know what? Stark naked, or wearing everything you have on now. If you would like to lie down on my bed, or sit on my couch, or just stand exactly where you are, leaning up against my door, I would love for you to just relax. Trust me, and let me blow your socks off.
5 beats of silence. Jack inhales deeply, and as he exhales, he loosens his tie slowly, slips it over his head, and lets it fall to the floor. Paul backs up a few steps. Better view. Jack unbuttons his shirt cuffs and the first 2 buttons at the neck, and pulls the shirt over his head and drops it to the floor. He begins to take off his V-neck t-shirt.
Wait. Shoes first.
Jack freezes. He looks at Paul and smiles.
That's when he really got into it. That smile.
The smile grows and grows until his whole face appears filled with joy. Then Jack's face relaxes into an erotic gaze, very aware, very excited. Paul backs up some more, inviting Jack to follow. Living room.
Oh yeah, into it big time.
Jack walks to the couch, sits down with his knees spread wide apart, and fixes Paul with his eyes.
You want my shoes? You take them off.
Paul, smiling, moves deliberately, kneels between Jack's knees. Jack lifts his right foot. Paul takes it in one hand, pulls at the knot, loosens the laces, removes the shoe, and massages the foot through the black gold toe stocking. After a moment, he looks up at Jack.
Socks.
Jack shakes his head. Paul puts the foot down and, without once losing eye contact with Jack, repeats the procedure on the other shoe. After a pause, Paul reaches for the belt. Jack helps and Paul tugs it out. It snaps as it is freed. Paul begins to tug at the t-shirt, but Jack grabs his hands.
What?
Do you really want to see me?
Oh, yes.
Why?
I like men, Jack. I think they're beautiful. I think you're beautiful, and I want to see.
I'm afraid.
Afraid? Of
That'll-
what?
That'll come the second you touch me.
Only the first time.
Jack laughs, considers, relaxes. He pulls the t-shirt over his head, throws it down, waits. Paul looks him over and seems pleased.
Beautiful.
Jack can't believe it, but he unbuckles his trousers and lowers the zipper. Paul tugs at the knees. Jack raises his butt and slips the pants down, and Paul gets them off and out of the way. Short white boxers.
Great. You're a dribbler.
They both look at the telltale spot of moisture on the boxers. They share a chuckle.
Hmm.
Paul leans forward and places his hands on Jack's shoulders. Jack bends his head Madonna-like to the left, and Paul caresses Jack's cheek with his right hand.
I don't know what to do.
Anything you like, or nothing at all.
Paul's left hand strokes Jack's throat.
Women I've slept with haven't been attentive like this.
I know. I'm going to play with your body now, Jack. Will that be all right?
Jack nods, closes his eyes.
I'm going to start with that devastating dimple.
Paul sculpts Jack's body, starting with the chin, the dimple, the curves of his throat, the sharpness of his clavicle, the hairline of his chest, the wispy trail to the navel, beyond as far as the boxers.
Nice.
He joins his fingers at Jack's navel and spreads upward, following the hair.
Beautiful.
Paul holds the breadth of Jack's chest in his hands, thumbs in front, fingers on the back.
What a chest. Great chest.
Jack can't help but swell a bit with pride. Too soon. Paul cups Jack's chin again, that dimple between his thumb and forefinger.
Beautiful.
No.
Jack, may I kiss your body? May I lick you? Say it, Jack. Give me permission.
Yes.
Paul takes Jack's wrists in his hands and holds them to the side. He leans forward and kisses one nipple, lightly at first, then very deeply indeed. And again, it's working. We see Jack's amazement. Paul nibbles at the chest hair between the nipples on his way to service the other one. It gets a similar treatment. Paul pauses, pulls back to make eye contact, smiles, goes back in for more stimulation, and with a lovely rhythm, gives that nipple a gentle bite or two. Paul pulls back again for more eye contact and another smile. Then he goes back in for more.
Jack,
Hmm?
if you explore more in the future, you will discover lots more surprises. You are aware of some of them already, and may be afraid of some of them.
Paul draws back his head and smiles.
I'm going to show you one now that you may not know about, and you don't have to be afraid, okay?
Okay.
Paul suddenly raises Jack's wrist above his head. Still looking at him, still smiling, Paul goes for the side of Jack's torso, right behind the nipple, and in one long movement, his tongue lavishes attention on its way, side to side, up through the armpit, almost to the elbow. Jack flinches, but Paul holds him fast.
Ah, that tickles.
Jack continues to resist, but Paul will not let him go. Paul pulls back, his face now on a level with Jack's, but only inches away. Paul smiles.
No, you're wrong. It doesn't tickle. It doesn't.
Jack has calmed himself and allows Paul to continue with the surprisingly pleasant attention.
Wait until you discover ears and toes.
A last kiss on the armpit. Paul releases Jack's wrists and leans back on his heels.
And other things.
A beat. He grabs the sides of Jack's boxers and looks up.
Are you ready, Jack?
Be careful, Paul. I really am so close.
I know. It's all right, really.
Interior lobby of Symphony Hall, Boston, night. We hear the melodious bells that signal the end of the intermission. We see the lights dim and brighten a couple of times. Barry hasn't touched his brandy.
Fantastic. And did he come right away?
He gulps down his brandy and they collect their programs and join the migration out of the lobby and toward the doors to their seats. They dawdle, though. They, and we, see Jack and his friend ahead of them.
Took him about 3 seconds, and what a gusher.
You swallowed, I hope.
Of course.
Of course. And did you blow him again?
He said He said the second one was the blowjob he dreamed about all his life.
Oh, you hot shit, you. And did he, reciprocate?
Well, he was hesitant. Afraid, I think.
What? You'd hurt him? No. You'd fuck him.
I think so. But I told him again that I wouldn't do anything he didn't want me to.
Paul and Barry are the last in line to re-enter the auditorium.
Yes. And?
He found things that he could do that pleased me.
Yeah?
I even got a kiss.
Very nice. I must say.
They are at the auditorium door. An usher, young, cute, and obviously anxious for them to take their seats, is holding the door for them.
But the greatest thing... Oh, hold on, Barry. Wait just a second.
He pulls Barry back a step. They're very close.
He wished me luck with my best friend.
Barry gives Paul a look, then a nice quick kiss, and winks at the usher as they go into the auditorium just as the audience politely applauds the conductor's appearance. The usher smiles back and closes the door after them. Fade out. End.